Hi there, this is Ronnie coming at you with a video. I thought I'd throw in my views on this ongoing farce involving Kim Davis. This is the county clerk in Kentucky who refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples, was brought before a judge, ended up going to jail, has since been released. And really, there are a few people, sort of commentators and so on, who have said that she's being attacked because she's a Christian, and that her freedom of religion has been impeded, and that this whole story is a show of how Christians are being attacked on this issue. Wrong on all counts. And so I'm going to explain why very, very simply. May take a few minutes, but we'll get there. 1. Was she jailed for being a Christian? No. She was jailed because she refused to do the job for which she is paid. And she was taken to court. The court ordered her to do her job. She refused. Court ordered her again to do her job. She refused. Court held her in contempt of court because she was refusing to abide by a court order. She still refused, held in contempt, and eventually the judge went, I've had enough of you constantly sticking two fingers up at the court. You're going to jail. She was not jailed for being a Christian. She was jailed for being in contempt of court. And anyone who thinks otherwise really isn't looking at the facts of the case. 2. Is her right to freedom of religion being impeded by this law? No, it isn't. I'll explain why. She is fully entitled to think as she does. I think she's stupid, but she's entitled to that stupidity. She's entitled to believe that marriage should be between one man and one woman, and she's entitled to hold that belief. And in the privacy of her own home, voice it to her heart's content. But as an elected official, as a government agent, she must first of all abide by the separation of church and state, and she must abide by the law. There's been wonderful memes on Facebook sort of drawing parallels, and there are some wonderful parallels. Such as, the person who goes up to a shop counter, and it happens to be a Muslim shop. The person at the till is Muslim, and they decide they're not going to let you have pork because pork isn't allowed in Islam. We'd be up in arms about that, and rightly so. But we don't seem to be up in arms about the same thing happening with Kim Davis. Because Kim Davis is doing the same thing. Her freedom of religion has not been impeded. Now, she could do the honourable thing and resign. If she really objects to doing the job, to which she is paid. And her argument that this wasn't what she signed up for. Well, laws change all the time, and part of your job is that you have to embrace changes within your work environment. Or, in the alternative, if a same-sex couple come to get a marriage license, she could step back and let one of her deputies deal with it. That way she's not dealing with it. But instead, she's taken this line where she is imposing her religious view, or her view which she claims is backed up by her religion, and demanding that others follow that rule. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that's violating other people's freedom of religion, because there are clerks in the office who have said that they have wanted to abide by the law, but were being told they couldn't. So Kim Davis is bang out of order. She's not only a criminal herself, she's been imposing her will, her beliefs on others and turning them into criminals. That's criminal solicitation. You know, and unlike herself, who can't actually be fired, she'd have to be impeached because she's an elected official, her staff can be fired. And there seems to be the assertion that this was the fact that they could be fired was used as leverage to make them comply with her way of thinking, which was to stick two fingers up to the law. Now, I wish she would just do the honourable thing, but she seems determined not to. I know a lot of Christians who are absolutely embarrassed by this woman. They do not see her as a Christian. They certainly don't see her as a martyr. And I wish these moderate Christians in America would just get out there and make it clear that she doesn't speak for Christianity, because she doesn't. Let's make it plain. Christianity are the followers of Christ. Christ actually had such a bee in his bonnet about homosexuals that he said absolutely nothing about them. That's how important homosexuality was in Jesus' eyes. Even if he had a problem with it, he certainly didn't think it was such a big problem that it required him to voice it. But he did say a lot about love. He did say a lot about judge not lest ye be judged. He did say an awful lot about let he who is without sin cast the first stone. And as much as I hate getting personal, I think a woman who has been married 4 times and has had affairs during her marriage is in no position to talk about the sanctity of marriage to anyone. Quite frankly. So what needs to happen? She needs to go. She's made it clear that she won't do her job properly. She's made it clear that not only won't she do her job, she's going to try find some way of voiding the marriage licenses that have been given out since while she was in jail. Someone actually compared Kim Davis to Rosa Parks. Wrong. Kim Davis is the kind of person Rosa Parks stood up against. Kim Davis is more accurately akin to the bus driver. Kim Davis is undoubtedly if you want an absolute analogy, is exactly the same as the county clerks who refused to hand out marriage licenses to mixed race couples. This is the simple truth of it, folks. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, whether you're comfortable with it or not, gay people can marry. Gay couples can now marry in the US. You've lost the fight, folks. All the bigots, you've lost. Simple as that. Give it up. You've lost. Love has won. Decency and dignity have won. Common sense and reason have won. Hatred, bigotry, and ignorance have lost. I can't pity Kim Davis. I have no sympathy for her. She had the chance to do the right thing and just resign. Or, you know, to say, well, she personally wouldn't hand out marriage licenses to gay couples, but she wouldn't impede other clerks from doing the same. She's done neither of that, and now she's claiming persecution. You're not being persecuted, Kim. You're the one doing the persecuting. I've had an argument with someone who says that we should, you know, why can't we all get along? Why can't she have her faith? Well, no one's actually attacked her faith. She's made a mockery of her own faith. What she's trying to do is impose her faith, her will, her ideology to the detriment of others and against the law. If I were a clerk before the Supreme Court decision, I would have been sorely tempted to give marriage licenses to gay couples, even though it wasn't the law at the time. I would want to, but I wouldn't be able to, because that would be breaking the law, regardless of my own personal opinions. I wouldn't be allowed to. The same applies here. Kim Davis can think what she likes, but she broke the law and stuck two fingers up at the court to impose her will, her religious beliefs on others, and then screams that her freedom of religion has been compromised and impeded. The only freedom that she seems to want with regards to her religion is the freedom to be a bigot. And you don't have the right to be a bigot. Well, okay, you have the right to be a bigot, you don't have the right to act on it in detriment to the law. Which is what she's doing. She has to go. It's that simple. Plain, simple. She has to go. She doesn't deserve respect, she doesn't deserve sympathy, she doesn't deserve anything other than, you know, ridicule and derision. And she needs to go. All the arguments trying to defend her, they don't stand up. And it's become a farce. And the more ridiculous it goes on, the more farcical it becomes. So that's my thoughts and feelings on this issue, and I'll be back with another video very soon.